You know guys, before I start today's video and get into the topic, I just want to give you guys my way of thinking when it comes to Call of Duty and how they're dishing out these games as of recent, and how they're dishing out content and seasons and updates and all of this stuff. The thing that's really difficult for a lot of people to understand is that to make a game good, in my opinion, requires a lot of things from multiple different directions to go right. The content needs to be good in both quality and quantity. There shouldn't be very many hiccups or bugs or glitches or any major difficulties at launch. There certainly shouldn't be any missing content. If there's any sort of copyright issues or legal issues, those things kind of need to be taken care of before the launch of the game. Things need to be well polished. Things need to be well communicated if there's any surprises, such as a combat record missing at the launch of the game. There's so many moving pieces that need to go into a game at launch that's gonna make it worth buying. This game is $70. You are paying for a AAA titled game. This is not an indie developed game. Multiple different bugs and errors and glitches and things like that. Those are amateur types of problems. When you have 3,000 developers, multiple studios, a fuck ton of money going into this game right here that is highly anticipated in one of the grandest franchises in gaming history, a lot of those moving parts need to actually connect and work well together. And if something is lacking and something else is not working, then guess what? For the caliber of a game that this game is supposed to be, it then becomes unacceptable, especially if there's multiple moving parts that are not working properly, you know? So why am I bringing this up? Because Season 1's roadmap came out today, or for you guys watching right now, it came out yesterday. A lot of content creators have already covered this. A lot of people really like what they're seeing. Some people don't like what they're seeing. In my opinion, there's some good things in here. There's some not so good things in here, but ultimately, I am extremely disappointed in what I'm seeing. I'm gonna show the left side of the roadmap right now, and please understand that this is a 6v6 multiplayer focused channel when it comes to Warzone and DMZ and like ground war and gunfight maps and stuff like that. I'm not too interested. Alright, I'll try it out, maybe I'll make a video on it, but usually it's not my cup of tea. But when it comes to actual MW 2019 Part 2 content, you see we get two new maps, quote-unquote new maps. First one being Shoot House 6v6, and then Shipment 6v6 in season. We're getting a new mode, which is also in season. We get a co-op mission, which I don't really care about, and then we get CDL Mosh Pit, which I am actually kind of interested in because this game has been incredibly easy for me so far, and I'd like a little bit more of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. As weird as that sounds. Moving on, we go to the Battle Pass with a new Battle Pass system, which I've heard about, where you can kind of choose which route you take in terms of progression with the Battle Pass. It's not just one long linear 100 tier bullshit that we had previously. From my understanding, there's a few different variations of the Battle Pass and you can choose which ones you want to do first. We get a new operator named Zeus in an FPS title, so it doesn't really matter to me. We get two new weapons, one being an SMG and another one being a sniper rifle. Personally, this section right here is actually not too bad for me. I'm actually kind of enjoying what I'm seeing. Moving on, when it comes to the MW2 World Cup event with operator bundles, longtime subscribers know what's going to happen when these things come out, but essentially we're getting Messi, Pogba, and Neymar coming into MW2. You know, the realistic milsim that some people think this is. And then at the very bottom, we're getting a couple of new guns, one being the M13 and then the other one being a honey badger, essentially. We're getting 4 new bundles. I don't give a fuck about any of them because I actually don't like the taste of gooch sweat in my mouth. Then we're getting 2 more operators in season, so we're not going to get them at launch. And that's all of the important multiplayer content coming in Season 1. And this is really where things start to take a turn for me. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I mentioned how many things need to go right for a AAA title to have a successful launch by my terms. Okay, if we're paying big money for a big game, then a lot of these things need to be going right. And when I look at what's coming in Season 1, especially after the launch that we just had, I see quite a bit of bullshit here, I'm not gonna lie. The biggest thing I look forward to in any given season is the amount of maps that we're getting, what the maps are, and some of the weapons that come in the game. When I look at Season 1 for MW 2019, I'm just getting PTSD flashbacks of fucking Vanguard. Can anybody out there, whether you're a gooch licker or somebody with common sense, can you please give me one good reason, an actual good reason, as to why we're only getting 2 maps in Season 1 of the new Call of Duty title, both of them being remakes, and one of them not even coming out day one. This game launched with about 9 6v6 maps, one of them being Museum, which got removed due to legal issues, 2 other maps also in hot water, and now we're getting 2 remastered maps. And look, these 2 maps, I'm sure they're fine, but to everybody that just played MW 2019 for the last 3 years, playing the same 2 maps for 3 years straight, I'm personally not seeing the connection between 3,000 devs, multiple development studios, 3 years of time, the fattest fucking budget you could imagine, in a AAA title, coming out with the same 2 maps that people just played for 3 years straight in your first seasonal update. When it comes to the Battle Pass, I'm glad that we can actually earn these weapons in the new Battle Pass system that we have, but when this game was supposed to launch with 10 ARs, and we only got 8 of them, and 2 of them got scrapped and thrown into this season, again, it just makes me wonder why. You know, I want to do something that I've seen a few other content creators do in the past. I just want to erase anything off of this roadmap that is not multiplayer related, if it's behind a paywall, if it's not coming out day one, and if it's not significant to the actual multiplayer experience that so many of us paid $70 for. And as you can see, this roadmap did not look as good as it did before. For a game with so much support behind it, with a ton of hype built around it, with an estimated revenue of over $1 billion in just 10 days, where the fuck is that money going? Is it going to Bobby Cosby, or is it going to the fucking devs to create more content for the multiplayer community that is not trying to get dragged in the fucking dirt, drip fed, while Warzone and DMZ, I guess, is gonna get most of the limelight again for the 4th year in a row? Why is this game getting the same amount of maps per season in the same format as fucking Vanguard? In MW 2019 Season 1, what did we get? I'm pretty sure we got 3 remastered maps as well as Shoot House. Somebody please verify if that's the case. Why are we taking one step forward with something as good as the Battle Pass system being changed in a game that is anticipated to be much more successful than MW 2019? Why are we taking one step forward and 1,000 steps backwards? If I'm not mistaken, Infinity Ward mentioned that Season 1 is going to come with Tier 1 or Hardcore, as well as the combat record. Why were these not here at launch? Was there an issue with them at launch? Were there bugs that made them not function? If so, how did that happen before launch of your AAA title? 3,000 developers, 3 years, multiple studios, fattest fucking budget you could imagine. How are those things acceptable? How do some of those things happen? I don't even know if I can like crack jokes at this kind of shit right now, because I look at this and I'm genuinely disappointed in what I see. Just to put it out there before the season even drops, if you are thinking of getting this game at Season 1, personally, I would not. Now, if you still want to, that is up to you. That's totally your choice, your decision. But if it were me and I wasn't a content creator, this season, especially at day 1, does not look impressive at all. If I already own a copy of MW 2019, why am I getting hyped to play some of the same maps that I just played a couple of weeks ago? And by no means am I just trying to trash on all of the developers and on the entirety of this game, because at its core level, at the most basic level there is, which is just run, shoot, go on to the next, this game works just fine and I'm having a good time occasionally. But when you start thinking about your money versus what you're getting, especially after receiving the launch content with the quality of that, and now you look at the very first season of the game, something that is supposed to set the tone for the rest of the year, and then you look at what's actually coming in Season 1, the shit just looks disappointing to me. And personally, I would still not recommend this. Maybe if they surprised us with another map, an original map, a few new game modes. I pray to God the stability of this game improves and all of the bugs that came at launch, which were not supposed to be here at launch, all get sorted out. Hopefully we get Museum added back into the game. Hopefully I find whoever made Santa Senya border crossing so I could send his ass to the fucking gulag. If all of those things happen, then you know what? I would recommend this, because again, at the most basic level, MW2 is not that bad of a game. Look, at the end of the day, I just wish this season looked more impressive for the multiplayer content as opposed to Warzone. Even though I know Warzone 2 is coming out, it's gonna be a big deal, that's great, but I just can't help but get Vanguard vibes vibes from this, and that's not something I want to experience again, especially not in a game that was much better developed than Vanguard, with a fuck ton more support behind it and a lot more going for it. I don't know, I guess I'm just seeing a really big disconnection in the product and what went into making the product. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think Season 1 looks impressive? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles. It's been a